Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about
NFTs, and today we have Ken Bozak, who is known as the CEO of NFTs. This is a pretty big deal. This guy is very known in the space, and we are very excited to see him. So let me see those emojis. Let me get the hype going, and let's get this started. Yes,
How
awesome.
goes it? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, Ken, we're going to ask you a series of 10 questions. And then we're going to have a little exercise at the end. We're going to open the floor for any questions that the audience may have. And we're very excited to know a little bit more about the space. So, our number one question is Ken. Who is Ken Bozak?
I'm just a bro, an average person, that's a deep question. I basically sum it up. Ken Bozak is just a bro, average bro.
Okay. Average pro. Okay, so today I had the pleasure of actually watching a interview that you've had previously on YouTube. If you go Google Ken Bozak, CEO of NFTs, it's about an hour long. I actually found out that you have a lot of tattoos. How many tattoos do you have, Ken?
Somewhere near 20, something like that.
Okay. So this is a two-part question. How would you feel about a yum yum tattoo?
Oh, you'd have to get one with me. We'd have to go to a tattoo shop together, but I'm down.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down.
Tattoo
Definitely
party?
down for that. Tattoo party for sure. Jerome, Jerome, I need you to schedule that. Please get on that.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if
Awesome.
Jerome would get a tattoo.
Oh my goodness, Jerome. All right, that will be another conversation for later. All right, so question number question number three. I'm sorry. So, I did something related to me when you said that you're working on yourself, right, versus making money in this NFT space. When you say working on yourself, what exactly does that mean to you, and what is your next personal goal that you're trying to achieve?
So right now, working on myself, I guess, as far as myself as a brand, establishing a team around myself to kind of provide more professionalism to the community that got my name to brand level. So working on myself in the sense of, just establishing a team. I got a manager, an assistant, art curators, organizers, building out a project that could help financially facilitate those, positions that need to be filled in my community. So just been really hitting that grindstone to make sure that, I'm in a position to not just, keep making myself well off, but to also, help as many people as I can in the community get into that position they got me in.
Awesome. Very awesome. So you've been in the NFT space since about 2015, I believe?
Well, crypto itself, yes, and then NFTs were in like late 2016, early 2017. I got my first crypto kitty when they first came out, and I played with them with breeding, but got bored pretty quickly.
Where'd you get bored?
It was just breeding, and I really wasn't into like the technical side of it to look into like the rarities and the chances and all the things that felt, I guess, like it was gamified. If you were like a real techie developer nerd, like you could look under the hood of all the attributes that the CryptoKitties had, and maybe I guess like counting cards almost as the equivalent of like breeding NFTs. And it didn't really like intrigue me into that sense, but I did see other people get farther into it where it wasn't just like breeding; it was like counting cards to them. There was so many moving parts that their mind was trying to follow that it was stimulating as a game, but just breeding two images to get another image wasn't very stimulating. So I got bored pretty quickly on that front.
Okay. Well, breeding kitties. It's definitely an interesting topic. Okay, so question number four. So in everyone wants to join the crypto space. Everyone wants to get into NFTs, but there's always different levels of understanding, right? Everyone is either at a Yum level, at a Jerome level, or at a CEO NFT level, right? So in order for someone to just get up and say, "Hey, I'm going to quit my job today and I'm going to go all in," because I think that's part of your brand, right? You're that kind of guy that if you focused on something, you're all in.
Yes, yeah.
So, how, what would you say as far as companies out there that are paying people in Bitcoin? How do people sustain a living in crypto and NFTs?
There's multiple different ways, and I kind of combine them all. But if you get paid in direct deposit, no matter where you work, whether it's an office building or, work at McDonald's, you can get your paycheck in Bitcoin. You don't have to buy Bitcoin after you cash your paycheck. There's a company called BitWage, uh, and you can go to BitWage, sign up, you get an account number, a routing number, and you can get your direct deposit sent right to them, and they'll send you Bitcoin right to your Bitcoin wallet. It's not like they have your keys. You get to hold your keys. You can use any wallet, even like a ledger, and have your Bitcoin sent right there every time you get paid from your job. You can earn Bitcoin, and it doesn't have to be your whole paycheck. You can get like 10% of your paycheck or whatever in Bitcoin every week or bi-weekly or monthly, whatever you get paid. I do feel like that's probably the best way to start getting into it, is not just buying it but earning it, and that way you don't have to worry about buying it every week or month or whatever you want to dollar cost average your way in. And then, kind of in a spending pinch, there's a lot of over the counter things that you can do, OTC, where you could probably make 10%, selling Bitcoin to somebody that's looking to buy it at the time, or buying Bitcoin from somebody that's looking to sell it at that time. You can make, 20% altogether if you buy and sell over the counter. And that, does require like having like, a trusted network. But I always recommend you go to a local Bitcoin meetup, or maybe start a local Bitcoin meetup, and people that would, need to buy and sell, you can help facilitate that and, earn something from that. So now if you're, getting your paycheck every month in Bitcoin and you got to pay your rent in dollars, maybe somebody at the end of the month is willing to take that Bitcoin off your hands plus give you 10%. So now you can actually make 10% paying your rent, all because you use Bitcoin. There's a lot of ways to buy gift cards, things like Uber, whatever gift cards in between. I just really use a lot of Uber and Uber Eats. But yeah, Bitrefill is an app that you can use, or a website, Bitrefill, and you can convert your cryptocurrency into gift cards. I use Cheap Air for all my flights, so I fly with Bitcoin, hotels, rent cars. You can use Bitcoin for that on Cheap Air, and vacations on Expedia. So you're just using it after you got paid in it, is already something that you can see, due to the volatility of the U.S. dollar and Bitcoin comparatively. You'd be able to go a little bit farther just getting your paycheck in Bitcoin rather than dollars.
Uh, You're definitely living in a new era, team. All right. So question
There was
number
another part
five.
to that question. He
Go,
gave you
go for
the
it.
information as to go full in on Bitcoin, but she was also asking like NFTs. How did you go full time on NFTs?
Oh, well, it was just like a little experiment, reached out to an artist and started, selling some NFTs. Just wanted to pretty much put together a proof of concept in case I ever wandered into a room and Mr. Beast was there. I could be like, "Hey, dude, you should do NFTs," and I could point at something and be like this. That's kind of what I was trying to do with my NFTs, and it kind of took off into a more serious route and forced me to go full time, honestly. But just creating them made me go full time, and the community just wanting more artists wanting to work with me, more projects wanting to collab. There just seemed to be more and more to do. So the NFT kind of took over everything for me when it came to that aspect, and collecting as well. There's 21 million Bitcoin. That's scarce. Scarcity's cool and all, but there's only, what, 10,000 crypto punks or whatever. There's only, X amount of these. There's only one Mona Lisa. So I started to look at art as if scarcity is why Bitcoin's so important, right? Like it's one of the most, things people say the most, right? It's decentralized, this is that, and it's scarce. I'm like, yeah, but these are all that plus way more scarce, these fine pieces of digital art. So I kind of went all in on that sense, and just looking at some of the video games I've played, like Splinterlands, some of these NFTs can be really time consuming in the sense that they're not just pieces of art, right? There's a lot that you can do with some of these NFTs. Some of them are assets in video games. So it feels like you're just playing a video game, but you're really collecting high-end art. And over, years, you can start to see, the value in that, and where it's at due to the scarcity. There's only so many, Charizards, right? That's why, one grade 10 Charizard's worth like $1 million. It's scarcity over time, supply and demand, and these digital pieces of art are no different. They start to become more scarce over time, whether wallets are lost, things are sent to the wrong address and get lost in the ether. The game mechanics have scarcity incentives built in, where people are burning and destroying, and including more and more scarcity over time. So it does take up a lot of time to keep up with some of these NFT projects. So that's kind of another reason why I went all in on it. Was I figure if I was going to go, if I was going to go all in on something like financially, I had to go all in on it with my attention as well. And I went all in on NFTs financially, so I had to give it all of my attention.
Awesome. Ken, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do before you decided to go all in? Like, what was your day job before you said, "Hey, I'm going to quit this job and I'm going to pursue my passion"?
It, my day job kind of was my passion. I just had a really shitty coworker I had to get away from. I always tell people, if my employer at the time would have fired my coworker, I'd probably still have a day job, because I didn't mind it. But I used to repair cell phones, fix screens. You get your charger port broken, I'd fix that. You accidentally reset your phone and you didn't back up your pictures, I sometimes could help you restore your phone back, and help you get those lost photos, things like that. If somebody else tried to fix your phone and they broke it even more, I used to be able to like micro solder very small components onto the motherboard directly. And it was just like a really satisfying job to be able to like just help people in a sense of backing up their baby photos. Some people just forget to back up of baby photos, and their phone gets broken, and there's no way to get those baby photos back, and they come back to me, and an hour later I have everything good as new. And just like that feeling of like helping people, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So I do miss that the most, but I do know there's a lot of people out there that are really good at what I did that are doing it. So yeah, I do miss the day job. I really did enjoy it, but I gave up on that to go all in on the conference circuit. I've been to hundreds of Bitcoin and blockchain conferences over the years, and that to me was sort of like my Harvard tour. I did 4 years at the Bitcoin conference, because there wasn't really anywhere to go to learn. There wasn't like a university. There wasn't any classrooms, or really any books at the time to buy. The only place that you could learn about blockchain and Bitcoin and this technology was at conferences. So I basically, at the end of the day, quit the job, not just because of the shitty coworker, but so I could go on tour as like a blockchain roadie. I was probably on an airplane once to twice a week trying to keep up with these conferences, and just talk to as many of the CEOs and founders of projects as possible to learn as much as I could.
Wow, that's amazing. Awesome. Okay. Um, so you have impacted your life, and I'm sure that you've impacted other people in this space. Who are some of your prodigies? Like, who have you mentored in the past, and how have you impacted their life?
Ah, well, I mean, I've tried to help a lot of people in the space in different ways. A lot of the times I'll feel like Tinder, like I just like matchmake for people. Yeah, you do this, they need that. I introduce you, and next thing you know, you're in a relationship financially or professionally, and So in that sense, like I would say that 1,000 or more people I've probably done that for. But prodigy wise, I would say my artist Ajay. You know, he was the first artist working with to make NFTs on wax outside of, you know, randomness. You know, somebody I reached out to, just like, you know, this kid in India, and it took me a while of explaining that, you know, his fee wasn't enough. You know, he was like so happy to pay me $20, and I'm trying to explain to him I'm making hundreds of dollars reselling his art, and he was totally cool with it. Like he didn't like so over the years, 2 years now working with Ajay, or almost 2 years working with Ajay, um, as an artist, I've seen him work with, you know, multiple different, you know, content creators or influencers, different projects. He works with a mainstream company now I can't really name, but I got him like a decent amount of work as an artist just by, like, you know, consistently working with him, selling his art, and not hiding the fact that he makes my art. So many, you know, people in this space that sell NFTs, they'll, you know, try to take credit for the quality of the art, like they created it, and I'm not ever going to, you know, mislead my community saying I made that art. I don't make art. I curate art, and then I sell it, and I pay my artists, you know, either 50% or more of all the value of the sales. But you know, so putting him on like the front end of it, like saying like, nope, this is his work, this is his work. I'm really proud to see how far he has come so quickly in the space, just as a very young independent artist. And then my co-host of my podcast, Nathan, you know, when I first met him, he was working in a sewing factory. And we would just joke on him about being a grown man stuck in America working in a sweatshop. Like, that's so odd. Like, you know, we're over here living in the future, playing with crypto and this, and it feels like he's in the past, stuck there. And we got to like drag him out of that and made, you know, helped him go full time as an artist. And now he has a few jobs in the space working with multiple companies. Already went out to New York City to record in a professional studio with musicians. And I'm just proud of, like, you know, the people I've surrounded myself with, because every time, you know, I present them with an opportunity, they seize it by the horns and run with it. And nobody's like really taking, you know, things for granted in my community. When something I can do for them can be done, they really do appreciate it and go full force at it. And that's why it really keeps me motivated to help more people, is I really never felt like I've wasted my time helping anybody.
Wow, that's amazing. So amazing. Not what you can do for yourself, but what you can do for others, I think, is what highlights kindness. And I think that's Altspace's motto, is be kind, right? That's why we're here. We're on a social platform to socialize and, you know, kind of spread that love to the community. Okay. So as a collector, Ken, you collected a lot of cool pieces. Would you like to walk us down some of these pieces in this room and tell us a little bit of the backstory of them?
Yeah, all right, how do I move my head around? Okay. All right, so some of these pieces are done by Ajay. I'm gonna jump off the stage. Woo! Hardcore parkour. So this piece right here was done by Ajay, and this is how I met my artist. I was playing video games. I was in a very depressed point in my life. Lost a 10-year relationship. Lost my brother, my father, and my grandfather, and I pretty much like tapped out of social media and just started, you know, playing video games to keep my mind, you know, out of dark places, and just preoccupied. So I play video games a lot, and I was streaming because I started to get lonely, even playing the video games. Like, it just felt weird because I was always podcasting. I was used to, you know, voices in the chat to talk back and forth to. So I started streaming while playing video games, and this shout out goes to CompSpace, a commenter and a subscriber, and now a friend of mine, introduced me. But I was looking for somebody to help me make a piece of art about me gaming, and he introduced me to Ajay, and that's how we met. I was playing video games. I said on the live stream I would like to find an artist. Some kid introduced me to another kid and was like, "Hey man, yeah, I can make art." And then I said, "Show me what you got." and this kid killed it. And I was like, let's work together. We've been working together ever since. So this piece goes back to just the gaming days and kind of how I met my artist Ajay. And you can see this is a newer piece. I got my face tattoo. Once I publicly made my first 7 figures, I went and celebrated and got a face tattoo.
Wow. Awesome.
This piece here was actually a collab with Raccoon Brand. So if you're into the Raccoon Brand swag, go and check them out. I got a whole bunch of their t-shirts. I love their swag. But this was something that I thought was interesting. People had to collect multiples of these in order to get like an airdrop, and there was different sets, and it was really cool. Raccoon Brand actually sent me one of my favorite little wallets. I don't really use wallets because I only use crypto and stuff, but it is kind of cool to have like my business cards in this like Raccoon Brand wallet. I don't even know how to explain it. It looks like it's from the future. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me talk a little bit about this picture right here. I took this in Miami. Jerome, weren't you there when this photo was taken in the background somewhere, I bet?
I sure was.
Yeah, I thought so. I was like, I remember seeing Jerome. I bet he's like in the reflection of my eye. We were on like the rooftop of the Intercontinental in Miami for the Miami Crypto Experience, and I hired a photographer. I didn't really know him. He just like reached out to me. He was like, "Hey man, I'm a photographer, and I was wondering how to get into NFTs." And I was like, cool. Here's some money. Come on out, get a room, come to this conference, take pictures of me, and I'll show you how to turn them into NFTs and sell them. And we went from day one strangers to overnight close friends. So shout out to Nick Shepard. He took these photos and did some editing, and they do come to life when you look at the NFTs. But essentially, I just wanted to show him just as a proof of concept, take a couple pictures, make them into NFTs, list them for a price, let people know they're available. And he's been crushing the NFT game, collaborating as a photographer with multiple influencers and influential people, content creators. So I'm looking forward to seeing, his photography, taken to.
Is there anyone that we would know that he worked with?
Well, recently I think he worked with BitBoy. I think he's probably like the biggest content creator in crypto right now. So he did a photo shoot with BitBoy pretty recently, as well as I believe Miss Teen Crypto has some photos that Nick Shepard has taken and made NFTs. I'm trying to think of other. He's worked with like mainstream, bands and other things like that. I like I said, recently became like friends. Not sure of his like previous achievements, but his NFTs have been pretty successful throughout like the community so far. And like I said, I'm just looking forward to see like what happens when he does get a professional gig again, with whoever it may be and outside of crypto, and show them, hey, is it all right if I use these photos as NFTs? Next thing you know, whatever we could have, I just think this is a different direction to get in than we see like my stuff. Like you see all the cartoony stuff, that's all cool. But I just feel like, how we see like the Kardashians using Instagram. We could show them, hey, Kardashians, you get a lot of likes on that photo on Instagram. How about make it into an NFT? You know what I mean? So I think that's cool that people just don't, expect a photo to be enough. Let's go to this one here. This is my Dingleberries collection. I work with an artist out of California. He's pretty well known out in LA. His name's John, works at the Tattoo Lab, and he has a series called the Dingleberries. And I reached out and asked if he would do a series of likenesses of my own, but in that style of just like completely disgusting and degenerative, and I love it. It's like. So what he likes to do is he likes to highlight things you're very insensitive or sensitive about, right? So if you have like a personal flaw of yourself and he finds out about it, he highlights it to the extreme. So you see my gums, Yeah, I have some stuff messed up with one or two of my teeth. Not many people can tell, but it bothers me enough that he made this whole big deal out of it in this piece of art. So I was just like, all right, dude, all right,
Awesome.
don't let him know you're sensitive about anything because he'll blow it out of proportion in his art and make it hurt that much more. But I do love it. It's a way to laugh at yourself, and yeah. So and the way he has like the stretch marks, if you get close, you can see I have some stretch marks on my waistline. He knows how I feel about that. So, yeah. So his
I've seen this picture so many times and
So you
had
pretty
no
much
idea there were
set
stretch
yourself
marks
up
there.
for this.
yes, I knew that was his like his MO. And I do like to laugh
You
at
had to
myself.
tell him.
So,
You had to tell him. Yeah, that's great.
so I
That's
knew what
great.
I was
Do you
getting
have an Audi?
into. Yeah, I do. I do have an Audi. So I don't have an Audi belly button in real life, but he did recently find out. So I took him to say thank you. He took me with him as a thank you, to be honest, because he was already going. But we went to Maui together, and we spent some time in Hawaii. And he found out that I have inverted nipples. So I'm just waiting for that to be reflected in one of his pieces.
Can't wait for the inverted nipple.
Yeah, he wouldn't let it go. So I'm just like, I know it's coming. He's definitely gonna let me have it with that one. But yeah, so like all these pieces,
Tell me
like
about the Super Saiyan.
so this one here was actually I thought I was gonna get in trouble. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna say Super Saiyan Ken. This can't be legal. Like someone's gonna get yelling at me or something eventually. I thought I was going to get in trouble. I was like, copyright parody law. I don't know what the thing was. I was just like, let me see if I can get away with it. And it seemed to go fine. I didn't get in any trouble. None of the platforms had a problem with it. And I thought, as the market, so what really inspired this was the market run up around Christmas time. Every time Bitcoin jumped 10 grand, I just felt like my Super Saiyan level power kept increasing. So I was like, Ultra Instinct's eventually going to hit. Like Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Ultra Instinct coming soon. I feel like when it hit 50K, like God mode kicked in. So my artist, heard me joking about it and made a bunch of these different Saiyan levels of my likeness and was using them to kind of express the increase in Bitcoin price the first time it ran up to 50,000. But I actually thought I was going to get some pushback on using, Super Saiyan, just the word.
And then what about the new one? Where did that come from?
Which new one?
This big one. This one is brand new to me as I was doing this.
Oh, so I went to a farm in Miami, a hemp farm, and it was this huge hemp farm. And the weed was so thick, the plants were so big that like I could go into the bushes. Yeah, dude, okay, you say that now until you ever have like a pollen allergy after hugging hundreds of weed plants. Dude, I felt like I had COVID. Like I felt so shitty. I couldn't breathe for days. My eyes hurt for days, and I didn't really understand why until like somebody said, "Bro, it's pollen."
Back and you're like, I bet you look back and was like, worth it.
Dude, I was motorboating buds. Motorboating them. Just like shoving them in my face and
Yes.
so I had like THC crystals all over my eyes, and it was bad, but it was worth it for this photo. I just stepped into the bushes and I popped my head out, and effortlessly my body disappeared, and I was just a floating head.
I have to ask though, the eyes, is that edited or is that?
No, that's accurate, bro. So.
I forget that I was there for this picture as well. I remember it now that he tells the story. The eyes were that bloodshot.
We wouldn't
Oh,
stop
shit.
smoking. We had a never-ending supply of cannabis that day, and we took full advantage of it. It was like, if you got to go to the buffet and instead of like food, they just had weed. It was like that.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
That's lit.
And so this is basically a piece of fan art, and that's a thing that this one is here with the crying eye, the crybaby Bozak. I let people make fan art, and whatever they feel like doing, whenever they feel like doing it, they can make a piece of art, with my likeness, and I'll sell it and give them 100% of all the sales. So whatever the piece of art that they submit as fan art sells for,
Man.
they get all of the money. And so you'll see some things that, may look
Man.
pretty low quality, but that's because it's young kids or beginning artists. I try not to be, a dick about it and be like, oh, you're not well known or you're not a good enough artist or what. Like, I try anybody and everybody that wants to do anything with me. Like, I want to work with everyone.
Stoner. Peace and love, baby.
So yeah, I mean, you should see some of the fan art. I get a lot of shit about it from my like high-end collectors because I do have like a collection of collectibles, and they are like pretty scarce, a little bit more high-end in price, and I have worked with some pretty like well-known artists on that front, and then I have in the same collection name, names that nobody knows with art that they deem not quality enough to be in the same room as them. So I've started to be more careful of like those high end artists I work with because I don't want them to feel like their art's being devalued because I work with everybody, and a lot of artists just don't feel like that's respectful. So I try to keep that in mind now, and I didn't really consider that. So that's something to consider when working with high end artists.
No, change the mainstream.
Yeah, just let them know, like, hey, I work with everybody. I'm very inclusive because a lot of artists only want their art in galleries that are, high end and only have, what I mean? That adds value to their name. They don't want their name to be what adds value to somebody else.
You don't really need to know, though. I feel like you're putting yourself in a position where you have to acknowledge that.
Well, because I want everybody to know,
and it's not even going to be an issue.
well, I want everybody to know who made what. So I always put the artist's, name on the NFTs, and it is something from my store, but it's not something I made. So their names are on the NFTs in the metadata. So I do see where they're coming from. It's almost like if you were an actor, right, and the production company started making B quality films, and you're trying to get an Emmy or an Oscar or something. It makes it a little bit harder. I see where they're coming from.
You would take the art and like make it shitty somehow, or you're selling what they're providing. That's
right.
A totally different story. Right?
Yeah, I just a lot of artists wanted like exclusive environments, and I found that out working with some of the higher end ones, and I want more inclusive. So I've just when I work, with artists now moving forward, I just let them know like, hey, I do work with everybody, and I have all different kinds of quality of art, and stuff like that.
See, that's where my point comes in. I feel like you shouldn't put yourself in that position to even have to say that. Like,
well, they feel. I feel like I don't want them to be
by itself. They would already know,
right?
And at the same time, you're trying to make money and place yourself in a position where you can represent people like that, and by exposing yourself in that situation, business-wise, that's very well.
So maybe I give too much of a fuck. No, maybe I care too much. You're right.
Maybe I'm just saying, but from a business standpoint, right? So
you're right. See, and that's what I mentioned earlier. I'm just now working on that. I'm trying to work on that.
You're such a stoner that you're thinking with your heart, not with your head. That's all I'm saying.
All right. And that put into it, so I could get Ken back on the stage to get 2 more questions in before our live stream, and we're gonna get going on with the show. Awesome. So Ken, thank you so much for taking your time to detail. Oh, what happened to Ken?
I'm walking around the stage, bro. I don't know how to fly.
Oh, there he is. I was like, where did he go? Okay, awesome. Okay. All right, well, so glad for this one-on-one time with you. That was amazing. Thank you for all the experiences, and I'm sure all of these pictures in here have a special story in your heart. Okay, so NFTs are not just images, guys. NFTs can be audio files, NFTs can be videos, But what makes an NFT really valuable is when you add a utility to it, and that's something that I've been kind of learning. And that would be to the real estate, right? This real estate in this space, right? So land NFTs are the most profitable. So Ken, can you touch base a little bit more about how that's growing right now, and what's that space look like for land NFTs?
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, they're taking off mostly due to DeFi, tokenomics heading on over to the NFT space. Where staking, begets dividends or rewards. So a lot of land essentially is that you're staking and you're going to be earning interest on that. Kind of like a note or a CD. And the land right now in a lot of different environments have different utilities, so they have different reasons for the excitement taking off so much as it is. But essentially, it's almost as close to equity or stock in a project as you can get that will have dividends and perpetual incentive or reward for just holding it. A lot of the reason to have property is to have your money somewhere sitting there making you money just for being money somewhere. And that's what you can do now with digital real estate. You can buy property and your value's there. It's it is worth what it's worth, but also now that money that it's parked there is earning you money for sitting in that location as that NFT, that plot of land, whether you're getting in-game currencies or resources, or just the ability to even like access it and use that land and build on top of it. So right now, I would say it has a lot to do with DeFi coming in and basically gamifying day trading in a sense. We're gamifying the banking experience. Banks make money off your money. And they don't just hold it for you and do it as a favor. You have your money in a bank, and they're making money off of holding your money by doing things with it. We can now start to do those things with our money that they used to do. Being your own bank in Bitcoin isn't just holding your private keys on a ledger anymore. It's taking your money and making money by sending your money to work for you so you can stay home. And you can do that with physical real estate, right? But that is a very gated process. I've seen 7-year-olds on CoinDesk, mainstream media talking about how they made 6 figures, 7 figures selling virtual real estate as children. No matter how smart a kid is, at 10 years old, you'll never be able to buy a farm that's up for, auction and make a flip on that and help your family, get a better quality of life as a kid. You can't do those things in that environment. And that's what really excites me about like NFT real estate is like we're gonna have kids kids owning land, and growing up as owners of land, and whether it's real or not, they're getting that real life experience. And when they're not no longer kids and they're adults, this mentality will have grown with them. It won't be something new that it has been to all of us when we turn 20 and 30. This all hits us like a train. We don't know where it came from. Kids are growing up financially, educated because of the gamification around it. So even if you're not interested in it, you probably don't care about Fortnite skins either. Buy your kid some virtual land, and I'm sure they'll thank you for it when they're no longer a kid.
It's awesome. I think one of the things that was that really related to me when I was watching your interview was explain gamification for real estate to a gamer. And you said, I mean, how would you explain it to a 4-year-old? And you said Minecraft. I mean, there's kids that buy these games, they build blocks, Legos, and I mean, they're making 6 figures and they're children, right? Over here, mid 20s, and I'm like so impressed by Minecraft and digital property. That's insane. Okay, last question that I have, and then we'll open the floor to the audience for any additional questions. Um, so VR, right? Altspace. What are your thoughts on Altspace, right? So VR, especially the Altspace platform, has thousands and thousands of users. I have two beautiful women in crypto right now. I have Love Worldwide and I have Miss Teen Crypto here who have done careers out of being influencers, making their art, healing people through the NFT space. Where do you think that's going to go? What's the potential in AltSpace in your thoughts?
Well, AltSpace and VR in general, I mean, we can already see it's excelling, in capturing the attention of end users. The more people that use it, the more get stuck in it. It's kind of like a black hole in that sense. People still kind of have like that vibe that it's still not there yet. But even me, Jerome still has a hard time dragging me into these things. But every time I'm in it, I kind of get stuck in it, and I do like it more and more. I think it's becoming more and more immersive, and that's the important part. I'm kind of jealous that I can't wave my hands around like you guys. Like, I see some people, yep, y'all got limbs and appendages. I feel like a handicapped person right now because I'm like virtually handicapped right now. And I think the fact that I acknowledge that, like, I feel it. Like, I do feel like, not that I'm lesser, but in a sense, right? Like, kind of lesser. Like, I can't move. And I kind of want that in. So that is immersion right there. And I think that that's interesting that I notice that I can't move my hands around and be acknowledged for it, but I can see others. And I want that more of an interaction, engagement in this environment. So I think that that's really interesting just for myself to be aware of like how it makes me feel when I'm in it. And yeah, I feel like, it could learn a lot from how to monetize things. All these assets, like these couches and this plant, these are all digital assets that could have been tokenized, that could be, NFTs that the virtual artist made. And in order to put the couch here in the audience and put the plant here on stage, probably could have, made $1 off of selling the asset. And maybe we would have known that only, a couple hundred of these plants are even available in all of the AltSpace world. So that's a pretty bougie plant to have or something. Like, I think, we'll see the combination of NFT and VR happen quicker than most people expect, because all the assets are already digital. Everything here is virtual. It's digital. All they have to do is drag and drop it, and it becomes an NFT. And we have seen how Unity,
your avatar.
oh, for sure. And you know how Unity has it built right in now. So if you're building a video game, you can easily create your in-game sprites or assets as NFTs right there from Unity, or a lot of these, different developing tools just have this, click, it becomes an NFT when it becomes an asset in the game. So I think, the profitability for these worlds has just barely been scraped by the surface. Like, they don't know how much money they could be making just by getting involved in NFTs. And I think that that's enough motivation, to get them going. So I'm just waiting for them to realize how much money's on the table, as far as, opportunity goes. I feel like, how much cooler would it be if, you knew we owned that plant and there was only 100 of them? And I feel like that's the difference between, like, the metaverse of Decentraland or crypto voxels, or, all the other blockchain versions. That ownership, I feel like you put a lot of work into this room for me, Jerome, but we don't own it. They could just decide to shut this room down and delete it, and all that hard work that you put into creating this environment for me is gone because of centralization. And I feel like they, projects like AltSpace, VR, they probably want the end users to have more confidence in using their platform. And in order to have more confidence, we need more decentralization. So I'm excited to see platforms like this learn from, Decentraland, or learn from crypto voxels, or whatever it is, and just evolve with us.
Awesome. That's amazing. I think that was very well put. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming today on Yummy NFTs to spend some time with us, just to get to know you more, and obviously share some more knowledge to the community, because this is the purpose of the show, guys. We're trying to grow our community, so that people are more aware of the opportunity that you can have in crypto and NFTs. And as a content creator, there's a lot of content creators here right now. So all the couches that you see here and the plants were imported by Sweetest from the flock right there. She's in between the couches. By the way, Ken, she thinks you look like Kenny Chesley, by the way. She couldn't stop raving about that earlier. Luna Blaster right there is an artist that I've kept repeating, telling her that, hey, we need to get your art there, because she is a very talented individual right there. Miss Teen Crypto, I mean, what you're doing is out of this world amazing. And she's only 18, guys. Talk about influence, talk about inspiration. It's in this room right now. Blue Moon is her production designer, so she's the one coming in, setting up everything, making sure that it's straight, and keeping me away from the world editor tool because I can't align anything myself. So, big thanks to Jerome, obviously from Blockchain Universe. Thank you, Jerome, for setting up. We episode 5 next Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern.
Is
But
there any
before we leave,
questions from the audience?
yes. Any questions from the audience, please raise your hand. We'll amplify you and we'll get you some airtime. Awesome. So I see Robo back there. Robo, kick it off.
Hey, so can you guys hear me?
Yes, Robo, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was wondering how one might make like a pin, like a hat pin, into an NFT or associate it with an NFT.
Oh, cool,
'Cause those
yeah.
are quite collectible already.
Yeah, and so tokenizing physical items to become digital collectibles and bridging, the physical to the digital, I think has to do with these things like NFC, near field communication. You could probably get like an NFC tag and put it on the back of the pin, and when you fill it in with the ink, it could like seal it, so kind of tamper resistant. There's RFID, which you could probably get molded into the pin's metal body itself. So the pin is this bridge. So when you tap your phone to the pin, the NFC or RFID could take you to the blockchain and say, hey, this is the mint number NFT that is associated with this physical pin. And that way, you could, kind of tie those together. You could sell your NFTs and reward people with physical items, or vice versa. Sell your physical pins and just say, hey, give me your NFT address in the as a receiving address and shipping, and you'll send them an NFT and the physical pin in the mail.
Yeah, and what kind of gas fees would be associated with setting something like that up?
It would depend on which blockchain you choose. So depending, Ethereum, the gas fees are pretty hefty. I know people are pretty excited about like the sidechain solutions and how OpenSea, you don't really have to pay the gas fee. Whoever wants to buy your art, they have to pay for like the shipping and handling, basically the gas fee. You don't have to pay for really anything. With Wax, it's probably going to cost like $10 in RAM. For like the year, so for only a few dollars on Wax, you can make tens of thousands of NFTs. And then there's other blockchains that have different cost associations.
Mm-hmm. So I could just like Google like cheap NFT minting or something.
Yeah, Crypto Stash has a great video on how to make an NFT, and I believe you could even do it for free, like your first one. Like, I don't think it would cost you anything at all to make your first NFT if you do Crypto Stash, how to make an NFT.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. I did see, was that you, Miss Teen Crypto, with the question? Yes, Miss Teen Crypto.
Yeah, I have a question for Sir Ken Bozak. I just wanted to know how many ETH NFTs you've been buying lately.
So not many lately. I do have a few. All right, so you caught me because you do know I bought a sewer rat. I feel like you're blowing my spot up on my sewer rat.
Sewer rat.
Yeah. I gotta.
I couldn't really hear the question.
Oh, you gotta amplify her, bro.
I just did.
All right. Do you want to
Read the
read?
question one more time?
Oh, I was asking Ken how many ETH NFTs he's been buying lately.
The answer's not many, closer to none. But yeah, I did buy a sewer rat. I thought they were pretty funny. It was almost like making fun of the crypto punks and Bored Ape yacht clubs out there. I was like, all right, sewer rat, that's hilarious. And then I got a panda, but because I don't know why I got a panda. I think it was peer pressure. But I bought like 2 Ethereum NFTs recently. I'm not super proud of those purchases because the gas fees again are just, it's kind of a deterrent. Yeah, it's such a deterrent, right? Like I never feel like I've done a smart purchase on Ethereum. It's just like, yeah, I can't. But yeah, I do. I have a sewer rat and I have a panda, and I've been looking at Ethereum a little bit more when it comes to like the utility side, because cost efficiency, we're not seeing as many, if anything, really be built around using the Ethereum NFTs. As far as they go, you can breed your crypto kitties. And most projects just copy and paste that gamification business model since like 2017. It's been a cookie cutter, kind of a shit show. So I'm looking at Ethereum NFTs that actually have like real in-game gamified utility. And there are quite a bit of interesting things kind of coming out now that are showing me that maybe I will start to see more Ethereum based NFTs have real utility that won't cost an arm and a leg to actually use that NFT.
Awesome. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions out there? Okay, we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey's a regular here.
Hey, Ken. I have an outside the box question.
Okay,
You
can we
know,
amplify Jeffrey?
Amplify? I can't hear you. You're in the back of the room, and it's so immersive. It actually feels like you are in the back of the room.
That's it. That's right.
Oh,
That's
now
the
you're in my head. Hi.
Hi. Sorry about that, Ken. I was wondering if you knew about sharding and if you're open to doing sharding in the future.
I actually feel like blending on wax is kind of a form of sharding, like reverse sharding. So, in order to get a specific piece of my art,
Well, explain everybody what I'm talking about.
Sharding is breaking something up into pieces. Like if sharding, I guess, is mostly used for like crystals, right? Like if you broke a crystal, it broke into shards. And you'd have shards of this one thing.
But in digital art.
So in as far as I use, like what sharding for me would be like blendability. So I would have this recently wooden cyclops basically made this like megalodon or megalodon Voltron like kind of thing, like it was like this Power Rangers type suit thing. So you had to buy the left leg, buy the right leg, buy the right arm, buy the left arm, the torso, the head.
Wow.
And then you'd have to put all those different NFTs together to get one NFT of the pieces all together. So that's kind of like a way I kind of use sharding. And I've also sharded ownership of an NFT. So I've split up one NFT by making 10 NFTs that represent the one. And then I sold those 10, and the value of that one gets distributed to the 10 people that have the equal 10% share of that
right, that's
one.
The one. That's
yeah.
The one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was kind of saving that one for last because I'm kind of proud of that because I did it to Joel and Travis of Bad Crypto podcast without their permission. They had I feel like they took my idea though and did it. So I was basically talking about like a Dollar Shave Club for Men NFT membership thing. And this was in like February in New York City. And like a month later, they launched the Nifty box. So I bought a Nifty box and then I made 10 NFTs and said, if you buy one of these, you'll get a 10% share of this. And I actually sold NFTs based on their NFTs. And I asked for forgiveness instead of permission. And Joel was really cool about it. So shout out to those guys.
So in the future, we take like this NFT, for example. You own the NFT, but 51% of it is yours, but the 49% you could break up into like 10,000 pieces.
Right, and we could actually encode into the blockchain those secondary market fees. So, the Mona Lisa, so to speak, if you could have like a 1% ownership in the Mona Lisa, in your family's portfolio, why wouldn't you? So I feel like we're going to probably see a lot of that happen. And, they're already doing it with a lot of Banksy's art. We've seen a lot of Banksy's physical art become like, NFTs. And I've already started to see people take that one Banksy and start to sell shares of it, shards of it, where you can have a percentage of the secondary market. If it does sell, those go to the people holding that share or shard of the main one. So you don't have to worry about like somebody paying you that percentage that you're owed when it resells on the secondary market, the blockchain just takes care of that. And I think that's going to be really interesting moving forward, because I feel like a lot of that high-end art we see being bought and sold right now may not have much buy and selling happening in the future, because it'll be leased out to museums. So a lot of museums will be holding these virtual pieces of art, and they'll just be paying dowships to people's families, or whatever. But that's why I have diamond hands. I'm holding until a museum asks me if they could borrow my art, because I don't want to sell it. You make more money leasing it than you ever will selling it.
Me too. Me too.
Awesome. All right, guys.
I feel bad. I do want to acknowledge my YouTube chat. I was live streaming on YouTube, and I see everybody asking me questions, but you had to join the AltSpace environment for me to be able to really answer them. I did post the link in the chat. I should have done it more often, but next time just go to AltSpace or altvr.com, and you can check out the Blockchain Universe events there. But if you're watching on YouTube, I wasn't really trying to ignore you. My bad.
Love you, YouTubers. Love you. All right, guys. So this is live streamed on YouTube. Before we go, if everyone can please come on stage so we can take a group photo with Ken, and so that we can actually get all those YouTubers out there in the real life to see the real people in here in VR that met Ken Bozak today.
Hey, Yummy. Just so you know, you have a whole lot of side boob going on.
I do. I do.
Yeah, this is nothing.
Wait till you see my other outfits.
Oh yeah, you gotta show me.
Wait till you check out VR chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely show you those. All right, why don't you get right in that middle of that plant there, Ken? There you go. All right, guys. Everyone's situated. Awesome. I'll sit here on the couch here. All right, guys.
You can't see my hands, but I'm giving a thumbs up.
This is Blockchain Universe. Join us in VR. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you, Yum Yum. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Take some pictures, and we're ending the stream. Later,
awesome.
Y'all.
Hey, guys, let's wave your hands for Ken. Let's
Yeah, waving the hand.
Awesome. All right, let me take one group picture on my phone, and then we can go ahead and cut that stream there. All right, guys, there's some emojis for me.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Ken Bozak.